Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. A very sore and tired Viking Orations. Last night, me and my nephew Tyler went to go see the Black Dahlia murder, play with Disentomb, Fallujah, and there was actually an opening act that I didn't even know about until we were on our way to the venue, and that was Indiana's own Summon the Destroyer, who is a band that I've known about for years, but I never got around to picking up any of their music. I don't know. I guess I just forgot about them at the time, and then just kind of got filed away, and just never got around to checking them out anymore. But yeah, I was real happy to find out they were going to be there because it was going to be a chance for me to actually get some possibly some music and merch, and plus getting to see them live was going to be really cool. And this was both mine and Tyler's first extreme metal show, and what an evening it was, I have to say. Things started off with Summon the Destroyer, and they just performed amazingly. They had such a great set. Very, the vocalist was very Frank Mullinish, from Suffocation. He just his hand movements while he was performing his vocals, and even his vocals themselves sounded like Frank Mullen. And musically, just killer death metal. I was very pleased with the set, and I was able to pick up some merch from them. I got this, see here, logo shirt, as well as it's the right side up, little pin for my vest, which I will be putting on here shortly. And they even threw in a sticker for free. Got their latest demo, 2016 demo. Can't wait to give this a listen. And then their only EP, this is considered an EP, though it's like, I think, 8 tracks long. And this is the only thing they put out besides this new demo. And I was surprised because this came out in 2008. But this is In Reverence to Sin. Kind of a dark cover there. You got the band on the back. And all this stuff, like I said, they threw in the sticker for free. But all this stuff only cost me like $17. I mean, you can't pass getting a T-shirt, 2 CDs, and a button for $17. And what was kind of cool that me and Canyon discussed this is that other than Fallujah and the Black Dahlia murder, all the merch that we ended up buying that night, we were actually interacting with the band members, and I didn't even realize it because it just didn't dawn on me because after we had picked up the merch, I realized I'd forgotten my pin because I paid for it, but I forgot to pick one out. And I walked back to the table, and there was another guy there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just forgot my pin. He's like, oh, go ahead and pick one out. And then went about my business. We finished getting merch. We took our stuff out to the vehicle, and I kept thinking to myself, I was like, man, where the hell did that guy go? I was going to, because I didn't want them to think I was just trying to get a free pin. And by the time we got back into the venue, it had already, the first band, Summon the Destroyer had started, and there's the guy that sold me my stuff up on stage. He was their guitarist, one of their guitarists. I was like, that is so awesome. I just, I don't know. Considering this is only like my 4th show I've ever been to, I'm not used to, interacting with band members and stuff. And I was looking them up this morning just to see how much stuff they have out. And I've come to find out that one of the guitarists, and I think the bass player, I want to say, are from Christ Beheaded, which is a black metal band from here in Indiana that are really awesome. And they too only have one EP out. And then come to find out the vocalist is actually the drummer for Asheron. I couldn't wrap my head around that. The drummer for Asheron is in, a metal band from here in Indiana as well. And not to mention the fact he walked by me and Canyon and then like several times while we were waiting outside the venue. And that was the other cool part about this whole experience was how many band members walked right by us, and we were like literally just a couple feet away. I mean, we saw Trevor come out to the van, and he was like just a few feet away, and he started walking down the street, and I told Candy, I was like, he's going to go get his McDonald's on. I can just tell, because there was a McDonald's across the street. Sure enough, a few minutes later, here comes Trevor with a big old bag of McDonald's. And then, the guitarist walked by, we ran into the bass player, the drummer walked right by us, and I'm just thinking, holy shit, these are the guys that I buy their music and watch their music videos and DVDs. and I'm literally just feet away from them. That blew my mind. But anyway, the next band that played was Disentomb, and oh my god, I think it was Josh Armijo told me, he said, prepare for a crushing set. They're gonna, destroy that venue, and he was not lying. They put on such an amazing show. The vocalist, I mean, the way he stalked that stage, I mean, he looked like, there were several times I thought he was going to jump into the audience. He just looked so vicious, and like he was ready to just, beat the living shit out of you, and his vocals were so guttural and just really well performed, and the rest of the band was really tight musically as well. And after their set, we went to the merch booth again, and Tyler wanted to buy their CD, and we bought it directly from the vocalist, and we shook his hand several times, and we told him how much we enjoyed the set. We got our pictures taken with him, and that was so fucking cool, because this is the first time I've ever actually been able to get my picture with a vocalist of a band or any band member, period. So that was a really awesome experience right there. And unfortunately, they they didn't have, I should say they were running low on stock as far as sizes and shirts and stuff. So none of the shirts were my size, but I did get this awesome hat. Got the little symbol on the side, Misery on the back, and then underneath the brim is the artwork for the album. And again, not realizing who I was dealing with when I bought this hat, when Disentomb came on, there was the guitarist who was the guy that sold me my hat, and I'm like, holy shit, I just bought this directly from the guitarist. That is, I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. It was just so cool. And like I said, they put on an amazing show. I mean, they easily were one of the best sets that night, though every band that played were amazing. And we also decided after that to take a break, and we stepped outside because, we heard Trevor was outside talking to people, but also, I don't know, we just kind of, we were all kind of like, do we really want to watch all of Fallujah's set? He's like, I kind of wanted to see him, but at the same time, like, So we just decided to step outside, and didn't see Trevor or anybody, so we just stood outside, talking and everything. Here come the band members from Disentomb putting their stuff in their van, like feet away from us. And it's just like, hard to believe that you can get this close to band members. And, but we could still actually hear Fallujah really well from outside. And they, sounded pretty good. We did finally go back in and we watched probably 2.5 songs, I want to say. And they were really tight live. They were able to recreate a lot of their stuff from their albums live, because the songs that I did hear, I believe, came off of their latest album, which I was listening to yesterday morning as I was at work on my lunch break. And they played really well and everything. They had a pretty good stage show, but, they were definitely the oddball out. And all three of us agreed on this because we were talking about it after the show. It's like, you got Summon the Destroyer, Disentomb, and the Black Dahlia Murder, who all have sounds that are pretty close to each other. And then you got Fallujah, and they were just, the way we put it, they were too pretty for the evening. You got a sea of brutality, and then you got this prettiness that's floating in there. They're kind of it was odd, but like I said, nothing against the band, because I do love Fallujah, but they were definitely the oddball out. They still put on the songs that we saw, they still did pretty well, but I don't know. I think if they'd have been either the headliner on their own little show or had bands that were pretty close to their sound, they would have went over a little bit better, I think. But I was able to pick up one piece of merch, and that was because, again, they were low stock on sizes for me. But I did get their Nomadic EP, which is something I've been wanting to pick up. So got that for $7. Can't beat that. And then, of course, the headliner, Black Dahlia Murder, came out, and we decided to at least get up front so we could see the opening, of Unhallowed and Funeral Thirst. We wanted to be at least up front for that. And, Canyon told me it was going to get crazy, and he was not lying. As soon as Trevor came out, I mean, the crowd just surged, and we were, like, pressed up against each other. I'm sitting here trying to hold on to my nephew to keep him standing up, because he's just a scrawny little guy. And I'm trying to, there's a guy that went to go stage dive, and if I hadn't stuck my hand up and caught him and shoved him over, he would have landed right on him. And somehow I also wound up with my arm around Canyon as well, because I had my arm around my nephew to keep him standing and make sure he didn't get hurt. And somehow I had my arm around Canyon too. I think afterward we were agreeing that maybe I was subconsciously trying to cop a feel. I don't know. But, that was just intense right there. And as soon as the song was over, I'll never forget this. Tyler looked like he'd been through hell and back. And he turned and he looked at Canyon all wild-eyed, and he was like, "What the fuck, Canyon?" And I mean, I died laughing, but as soon as that happened, I grabbed him. I was like, let's get the hell away from this craziness so we can actually enjoy watching the show, not try to, possibly get killed here. And, oh my God, they put on such an amazing show. I've always heard they were a great live band, and they were not lying. They were so amazing to watch. And, as promised, Canyon told me about halfway through the set, Trevor's shirt came off, and I was like, yep, there he goes. But, yeah, and of course, one of the other highlights, besides hearing Unhallowed in its entirety live, was when they played On Stirring Seas of Salted Blood. I just absolutely love that song. And to hear it played live, definite highlight of the night. And, yeah, like I said, very tight performance. I mean, Trevor's interaction with the crowd was great. He has such a great stage presence and everything. And we did pick up a little bit of merch from them. I got me and Tyler both a little Black Dahlia murder patch, because I definitely need one for my vest. And then they did have a long sleeve shirt that I could have got, but I wanted the tour shirt, and luckily they still had my size in it. And I really like the color of the shirt. It's a nice blue color. But this is the, I believe it's called Unhallowed Resurrection tour shirt. Very cool. On the back, got all the tour dates. So, yeah. All in all, an amazing night. And not only because I got to go to my first extreme metal show with my nephew, it was his as well, but also, to go with a really good friend like Canyon. You fucking rock, man. You're like a brother to me now, in my opinion. It was such a great night. It was a great experience meeting you for the first time. And, yeah, we're definitely going to have to do it again sometime. And, of course, the other big highlight for me was right at the beginning of Disentomb's set. We got a little close to the station. We thought, well, if we get close, we aren't going to maybe hopefully deal with all these idiots that were, trying to start mosh pits, because they were trying to do that during Summon the Destroyer, and they were really starting to piss us off. And earlier in the night, I seen Daniel Osborne, who is the owner of New Standard Elite and also the drummer for Inherit Disease, outside the venue. I'm like, holy shit, it's Daniel Osborne. And I never got a chance to say anything to him. Well, just as Disentomb we're getting ready to go on, he gets right in front of us, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Daniel Osborne. And so, we figured the pit and everything was going to be behind us. Well, the vocalist for Disentomb had another idea and said, bring that shit forward. And we were all like, oh shit. And about that time, just as the first song started, Daniel turned around, and I was the first thing he saw, and he bum rushed me and damn near knocked me on my ass. And it was two prizes, because I looked at Canyon looked at me, he looked at Tyler, we were all looking at each other, and we just got the hell out of there, got off to the side before we got our asses kicked. But it was priceless, and we ran like three little bitches. It was that crazy, and I'm like, yeah, I said, that'll go down as another highlight. The owner of New Standard Elite damn near knocked me on my ass. It was just like, what a way to meet a guy for the first time, huh? Because I wanted to talk to him. What do I get? I get bull rushed and damn near knocked down. So, overall, amazing night. Got to meet a really great friend and spend it with my nephew, make more memories of going to concerts with him. And, yeah. I'm going to quit rambling now because I am tired and I am still sore from last night. And, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.